Question 2 is all about Venn diagrams. So there are 160 students who attend a dual language school where they're taught in Spanish or in English only. So they're doing a survey and the data is represented in this Venn diagram, where S represents the students who are taught in Spanish, B represents those students who study biology, and M represents those people studying maths. And we're asked in part A, first of all, to find the number of students in the school that are taught in Spanish. So for that, we're just going to add up everything in this circle here, which is going to give you 95. Part 2 asks you to find those people who study maths in English. So for that, we are looking at those mathematicians who don't study it in Spanish. So we can see that this is the group of students that study in Spanish. So these 40 and 28 must study maths in Spanish, which means that the remainder, 12 plus 20, are going to be those students who study maths in English. Part 3 asks us to identify the students that are studying biology, which is going to be this group here, and maths, which is going to be this group here. So here we are interested in the intersection between the two, which is therefore going to give us an answer of 52. In part B, you're asked to write down the number of pupils in particular sets. So we can see, first of all, that we are looking at the intersection between those pupils who study Spanish, so that's this group here, and those pupils who study maths or biology. So maths or biology is anything in this group here. So what we want to do is look at the area which covers both, and we can see that this section here is covered by both of those. That's the intersection. So if we add those together, we're going to get an answer of 78. For part 2, we want the intersection between 3 different sets. So first of all, we are looking at pupils who are doing biology. So this is our biology group here. We're then looking for pupils who also do maths. So this is our maths group here. And then finally, we're looking for pupils who don't do Spanish. So that is kind of everything else on the outside here. So we want to look to identify the section which is included in all 3 of those. And hopefully you can see that this little section here has got red, green, and blue. So that covers all. So the number of pupils in that section is therefore 12. For part 1 in C, we're asked to find the probability that a randomly chosen student studies maths. So for that, we need to first of all work out how many students there are. So if we add together everything in the set, we can find out that there are 160 pupils. So it's just adding each of these values together. And then we need to figure out how many study maths. So again, just looking within maths, add those 4 numbers together and you're going to get 100. So we can either leave it like that or simplify it down to 5 over 8. For part 2, we are asked to find the probability that a student studies neither biology nor mathematics. So the easiest way to think about this is just cross out anything that is in set B or set M. Add these 2 together, so we're going to end up with 42 pupils out of the total in the universal set, which is 160, which we can simplify down to 21 over 80. Part 3, however, was the question which tripped everyone up because it is the conditional probability. We are told that the pupil does study biology, and then asked to find the probability that they are taught in Spanish. So the easiest way to think about this is just kind of intuitively. We are told that the student studies biology, so we are only looking at this set, the biology set, okay? So within that, how many pupils? So we're going to add up each of these, and we can see that here there are only 70 pupils in total. And we're asked to find the probability that they're taught in Spanish. So the Spanish pupils, or the pupils taught in Spanish are these two. So there's 50 of those. So the answer is 50 over 70 or 5 over 7. So when you have conditional probability, you can see that the denominator also changes. The alternative way of working this out is to use the conditional probability formula, which we've got here. So we want to find the probability that they do Spanish given that they do biology. That's going to be using the formula, the probability that they do Spanish and biology divided by the probability that they do biology. So let's look at these individually. The probability that they do Spanish and biology. So we can see that's going to be this intersection here, which is 50 out of 160. And we're going to divide that by the probability they do biology, which is going to be everyone in this set here, which is going to be therefore 70 out of 160. We can see hopefully there that the 160s will cancel out, and we will be left with the same answer as we would have got doing it intuitively, which is 5 over 7.